Hey, podcast listeners, this is Kendall Fisher, your occasional guest host of the Grow Wire podcast, and I am here with none other than Fritz Nelson. Hi, Fritz.
Hey, everyone.
So as you guys may have heard on the last podcast episode, Fritz is the editor-in-chief of Grow Wire and has joined us as the host of the Grow Wire podcast as well. No, clarification, I did not fire Jason Maynard. He'll be coming on here and there in the future, I promise. Anyway, Fritz, last time we talked about your love of basketball, so I figured this podcast episode is the perfect one for you to intro. Our guest today is arguably one of the most memorable NBA players of all time. So, Fritz, what do you say?
I'm ready, but I wore all my gear. I thought you said I was going to get to play basketball.
Oh, shoot. Maybe no. That's saved for your Monday night basketball league, Fritz. All right, take it away.
Okay, you guys are in for a real treat with this episode of the Grow Wire podcast because we sat down with the one and only Metta World Peace. I actually remember him as Ron Artest. Yes, the former Los Angeles Lakers champion joined us to chat about all things basketball and business. In fact, Grow Wire is one of the first to announce the launch of, drumroll please, Metta's new app, Gradelo. That's Gradelo. It's a social networking platform built around sports, allowing amateur and professional athletes to show off their talent while setting up a fun competition between friends, fans, players, coaches, and peers. Maybe I should set this up with all the guys I play with. Metta explains his inspiration for the app as well as his post-NBA dive into being an entrepreneur and philanthropy. Of course, he also chats about his time on the court, recalling some great stories you won't want to miss. So stay tuned. Before we get into this conversation with the one and only Metta World Peace, I want to thank our sponsors over at Blue Microphones. Everyone has a story to tell, and if you're a storyteller, you probably know Blue Mics for their iconic Yeti microphone, which has helped millions of people find and amplify their voices. If you're thinking about creating your own podcast, check out Blue's new Yeticaster, the complete mic and boom arm system ready to connect to your laptop, bringing the ultimate broadcast studio setup to your home or office. We use the Yeticaster here at our Grow Wire Santa Monica studios, and we absolutely love it. So check them out for yourself by visiting bluedesigns.com and use the code podcast at checkout for a special price.
You're listening to the Grow Wire podcast, a place where you'll learn the ins and outs of growing a business, running a business, or even taking your big idea, career, or personal development to the next level. It's all possible. Our host, Jason Maynard, the SVP of Marketing at Oracle NetSuite and the Editor-in-Chief of GrowWire.com, will take you on an exploration of growth through candid conversations with some of the most brilliant minds in entrepreneurship, entertainment, business development, and more. Whatever your goal, we know you'll walk away with the right tools to help fuel your own journey of growth.
All right, welcome to the Grow Wire Show. I'm here with Metta World Peace. Metta, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
It's really cool to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you in. So a lot of people know you from obviously an amazing basketball career, but what I think what they don't know is that you're also an entrepreneur. And at Grow Wire, we talk about growing ideas and growing a business, so we're really excited to have you in to actually talk about your new startup, Gradelo. Yes. So what is Gradelo?
Yeah, Gradelo is started because I wanted to grade talent. I felt like there was so much talent out there that's not being exposed, and how can we expose them easier, to like a guy like Luke Walton or a general manager like Rob Pelinka, or even if I want to know, Metta World Peace wants to know who's the best out right now. So I saw a lot of talent out there that wasn't getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of talent before they get the opportunity, they either get in trouble, whether they get incarcerated, whether their grades drop off, whether they have good talent, but they got to work to feed their family. They might have a baby. There's so many things and reasons why people are not seeing the best talent. And that's where it came from. When I started building that product, I ran into a lot of problems. So I called it Gradelo, and because I wanted to name it Grade Sports, but I needed something with a grade in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, a year later or a year and a half later, we kind of changed how we wanted to approach, the sports and tech. So we kept the name, and hopefully we can get back to that one day. But right now we're just focusing on basketball leagues.
Yeah. And so this is an app.
Yeah.
Folks download it.
Yeah.
And tell us, how does it work then? So
right now, and it's interesting because I'm not complete with the app yet.
Yeah.
We're designing the website right now. So I'm going to give you some entrepreneurial stories. The first engineer I had said, build the iOS first because you don't need to build an Android. Let's test it out. Well, all my users are mostly on Androids.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, okay, rather than build the Android now, I'm just going to build the website. Android users can use the website. So we kind of had to pause on the design and everything, and I was bootstrapping this. One of my advisors, Ian Rogers, who founded Topspin and sold to Beats and Apple Radio, he said, hey, the most important thing you got to do is find a designer. And I said, okay, how much? He said it costs about $150,000, $120,000. I said, I don't really feel like spending that on a designer, and I should have took his advice because now I'm back to, needing a designer, which I have one now.
Yeah.
So it's so many cool stories, frustrating times, and I'm still here about 2 months away from launching. So if you go to Gradelo.com, you won't see much of anything yet.
Yeah. When we're recording this podcast a little ahead of your launch. But what was the motivation? Like when you come out of a basketball career, you obviously saw a lot of players who made it, a lot of guys who didn't make it. And you're focusing on basketball. But is this something that, it's geared for teens, like kids coming up, where they can build that community around the app? Or where do you see it being used?
Well, for one, I don't really mind talking about my app, and it's not done because I feel like it's going to inspire another entrepreneur who's in the same position, who's trying to build their company, and they're at the same spot I'm at. So I don't really mind talking about it, even if it affects me with a VC or a potential investor who say, okay, I'm not going to invest in this because they don't like it right now, but I'd rather share the story to give another entrepreneur some insight. And then in terms of like my demographic, it's a question that's been asked a lot. And it's 18 to 45.
Okay.
I really feel like I don't want to give up on that 40-year-old basketball player, that 29-year-old basketball player who wants to play basketball, but they work. Also, I don't want
I know that guy.
Yeah, right?
I am that guy.
There's a lot of guys like that. And I'm really interested in that community. I'm really interested in finding ways to fulfill or to have them fulfill that void of, maybe not being able to play pro, but giving those experiences, And so with that being said, 18 to 45 is the demographic I'm going after.
I'm 46. Can I still?
You can still play.
Can I still do it?
Absolutely.
All right.
Mahmoud Raouf is 50. He played in the Big Three.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the Big Three because I love the NBA. I love the WNBA, but the Big Three, I might have a little soft spot because I'm like, these guys are as old as I am. And they're still balling. So we'll get into that in a second. Absolutely. But I want to talk a little bit more about the app. But so you started this about a year ago, right? It sort of got the seed of the idea.
The seed of the idea was 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Okay.
It was 4 years ago. When you're young and you're just getting into business, you got 1,000 ideas. I'm not afraid to tell these stories. I'm not the only entrepreneur that had these stories. And you go to a VC or an investor or a potential partner and they say, just focus on one thing. I don't have one thing. I have 1,000 things. And then it takes time for you to hone in and talk to people, meet people, meetings and all the stuff to say, okay, this is what I think I should be doing.
Yeah. And how did you narrow your focus? How did you whittle through all those ideas?
It was tough, man. So one, I got to LA in 2009. Entertainment, I want to act. I want to do all this stuff. Then I want to do movies. I was rapping. I want to do music. Then I want to invest and I want to open up clubs. Like it's still right. So many things I want to do. Then things is not working out, and I'm not taking the necessary steps as a businessman. I'm not doing things how on the basketball court. I'm going to work on my jab step. I'm going to work on my free throws. I'm going to work on everything. But in business, I was skipping so many steps. So eventually, I said, okay, I'm a basketball player. I have a love for math, which I majored in math in college before I went to the NBA. I love philanthropy. why not stick to things that I love? And fortunately, basketball is a huge market.
Yeah.
Sports. So I said, okay, I gotta kind of get rid of everything else that I'm doing. Just stick to what you love to do, and I'd much rather be doing something else, but I think this is my sweet spot.
Yeah.
Sports, tech, and giving back and working with people.
Those things are intersecting now more than ever, I feel like, right? You can connect to people in different ways, obviously through technology that you couldn't do it before. So
yeah.
So it's interesting. So your playing days ended in the NBA when 3-4 years ago?
I didn't retire yet.
Yeah, you're not officially.
I didn't retire yet. That's another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have fans that come up to me and say, it's great to see you. Get back on the Lakers team. I'm like, I can't get back on that team. I don't make those type of decisions, And then when I was playing with the Lakers, you hear these chants, we want Metta, and I know I can play, but I'm here to mentor the young guys, which is great. But if I don't want my career to end early, I need options.
Yeah.
If I can somehow generate, content or create content, generate revenue, still play sports, maybe it's not as much as the NBA, but how can we continue on what we love to do is play sports? And that's something that's driven me to do what I'm doing now today.
So when you think about Gradelo, your ideal here in the next year or so is this is going to be in the hands of really any athlete, regardless of age, men, women, boys, girls. And what type of content are you do you anticipate seeing on there?
Yes, I'm hoping to see lots of basketball content to start. We will get into other sports later, but right now we just focus on basketball. I'm hoping to see communication between players. I'm hoping to see multiple games being played. I'm hoping to see referees and coaches and just engaging with people. I do have a lot of competition out there, and often, I see more competition coming, but it's okay. I'm really a fan of these other platforms. Team Snap is one of them who I like.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other really good platforms out there that I like.
Yeah, and it seems like it's fun. So I've seen a couple of those as well, and none of them have a content to it though, right? There's not that, it's sort of. I remember, this is dating myself a little bit. Remember the N1 mixtapes?
Yes.
Right. You sort of look at those mixtapes. I mean, am I sort of taking sort of that idea, a modernized version of that with sort of that community around it from
I haven't really thought about it, but absolutely, there's a lot of those players that need the opportunity. The only problem is if I spend my time and get a bunch of N1 players and try to create events around these N1 players, well, who's to say that people actually want to see it? So, my target or my market is probably not going to be as big as just, as NBA players or, as some of these followers, some of these Instagram influencers, basketball influencers. But I'm more about the substance. And I think if I go after the substance, I think I'm going to gain the respect, of the people. When people come see the app, they're going to know that we're about something and we're trying to really, keep basketball alive and really showcase the best. Right now, I don't think in basketball you don't really see the best of the best. And I know that for a fact, just from going through college and pro sports, and it's not always the best.
Yeah.
I want to kind of take out the politics, and I want to also, I guess you have a lot of these decentralized music platforms now.
Yeah.
And how can we do that for sports? Not going against the NBA, giving a better path, to the NBA and giving fans more sports.
Do you feel like the structure of, you see some of it in the collective bargaining right now with the NBA, and you see some of the changes to the one and done rules. Do you feel like that structure is going to evolve over the next few years?
The NBA, they had to take out the one and done rule and bring it back into effect. NCAA is making changes. You have to, because with technology, as you know, it scales fast, and you don't want to get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, just sleeping, when you get all these new platforms coming out, the big three, the JBA. It's happening fast. They're eating up a little bit of the market. Not a lot, but they're eating up a little bit of the market. So the NBA, they have to make adjustments. NCAA, they have to make adjustments. And you really don't know what people want. At the end of the day, NBA and the NCAA have lots of smart people around them. But these millennials and I guess the Zen era, I don't know what they're called now, they changing the game.
Yeah.
They making all the rules. And and sometimes data doesn't even help you, figure out what's happening next.
Yeah, it feels like just the power structure that was in place for so long around this is changing pretty quickly. I mean, even just think of like AAU and how that's evolved over the last decade. Yeah. You now have the NBA with the G League coming into play. And so college is sort of in this weird position where it's not like it used to be when you were coming up.
Well, college is interesting because, for one, it's a couple of things I'm not going to say wrong with college, but it's not for everyone. Yeah. So you go there for 4 years, you're playing basketball, and then you get a guy, I'll just mention this, Mark Zuckerberg, for example, who's just focused on business. Yeah. Athletes miss out on that whole thing. Yeah. Unless you have really good upbringing. So that's one issue. The other issue is some people don't have the grades in 8th grade, 9th grade. They're behind the 8 ball. And now they can't even get into the NCAA, really talented players. That's another issue. So the NCAA, they distribute the most players to the NBA. But if you're not in the NCAA, or if you're not from overseas, it's harder for you to get in. Yeah. Because of the exposure. So now you got all these education platforms. You have Kaplan and Kumon, and you have UCLA Extension. You can still get the education. Yeah. And now you have these other platforms like Ball is Life. You can still get the exposure. So who's going to be the person to kind of put that all together? And the other thing is, some people can't learn in groups. You have to give them different solutions. Yeah. Some people do better one-on-one teaching. So it's so many things that's happening right now in sports, that I'm trying to stay aware of, and I think like it's a big enough market for more than one league, more than one platform. It's only 400 NBA players. Yeah. And then the D League has a couple, but it's only 400 NBA players and tons of basketball fans. Yeah.
Who inspired you to make the move to be an entrepreneur? Was there anybody who you looked at when you were a player and said, you know what, I'm that guy's got it right, or that gal's figured it out, I want to do something like that?
My story is a little different. So when I was 19 years old, I got drafted to Chicago. Once I got into Chicago, I wanted to start my own shoe company. Knew nothing about business, and I didn't have the people to say, hey, this is how you start a shoe business. I wish I would have. So then I got away from the sneakers and I went into music business, because all I was thinking of was all my friends is in the business, Nas and Mobb Deep, and it just goes on and on and on. So I said, I want to do that. But I didn't take the necessary steps. So I got out of that. I was always into philanthropy, and I'd much rather do philanthropy. So like in 2009, when I was raffled off my championship ring, we raised $671,000. And we gave all the money away to mental health institutions.
That's an amazing story, by the way.
It was great.
When I saw that, for those, talk a little more about that, because I think that's one of those, people don't talk enough about what you did there, because I think it's so generous.
Well, for one, I don't do well with jewelry. I don't wear jewelry. I lose jewelry, and so I'm like, I'm not going to keep this ring because I know I'm going to lose it. It could do much better if I do something good with it. I was going to do a sweepstakes. A couple people wanted to buy the ring from me. And I was like, I think I can make more if I do a raffle. And then some of these auction people was like, no way in the world. The most money a ring ever went for was $70,000 or $50,000. And I'm just like, but if I do a raffle and charge $1, I think I can make more money. And I did. And I did it in 3 months, and I shut the raffle off because I wanted to give it away on Christmas. And we gave all the money away to mental health institutions. And that's what my mind was in 2009. And then when I tried to do it again, I was getting it was a couple things I couldn't do. Like the company I was working with, they had all these other rules in place now. I wanted to do my Defensive Player of the Year trophy. Yeah. And I couldn't raise money. I was trying to raise money from corporations and people, and nobody was giving money, for my foundation. I'm like, I'm giving the money away, right? And so I said, okay, I got to get into business. Yeah. Because I don't want to keep coming out of my pocket. So that was the only way. That's the only reason I got into this. because I wasn't able to raise money for like causes and philanthropy.
Want to help save the planet? Here's an idea. Go nude. Unfortunately, not wearing clothes isn't realistic for most of us, but buying sustainable clothing is. Here's Gordon Seabury, CEO of Toad & Co.
Few know that garment production can generate tremendous pollution. So that's why we're hellbent on offering cleaner, sustainably made clothing that's stylish and long-lasting. But that's only half the battle at Toad & Co. When it comes to hitting our business goals, we've learned to focus on what we're good at and seek partners for other areas of expertise. So when it came to ensuring a consistent customer experience across all sales channels and knowing what was going on with all aspects of our business, we chose NetSuite by Oracle. They know business systems, we know eco-friendly clothes. A perfect match.
From accounting and finance to commerce and human resources, NetSuite is the #1 business system to help you simply manage your business. Right now, go to netsuite.com/toad to get your free guide, Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. That's netsuite.com/toad for your free guide and to hear Gordon bear all on Toad & Co.'s growth story.
So I got into tech because I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do with my life after basketball. So I was like, okay, I was a math major in college, which I forgot everything about math. I was a philanthropist and I love basketball. So I said, okay, I want to get into things I love where I can still, at least generate some revenue. I don't want to do all philanthropy because philanthropy is time consuming and everything's coming out of my pocket. So I had no choice but to get into business. I went to UCLA after my last season with the Lakers. I took up digital analytics Mondays at 6, social media Wednesdays at 6. Then on Saturdays at 9, I was at Concordia Irvine for business analytics. And I had to go through like a training camp to see if I want to put my body, through this work, if you're in a training camp, to see if I want to put my mind through.
So you're going back into hardcore analytics and really like back to the old days of what you were doing in school.
I had to see like, okay, you want to get into tech and you want to get into business and learn how to raise money and sell your company one day. Well, do you really want to do it? I had to ask myself these questions because after my last game, it was frightening not having a schedule. What am I gonna do? I was like, wow, it was terrifying. Yeah. Called some of my other buddies up. Said, do you feel like this when you retired? He said, yeah. I said, okay, cool. I'm not going crazy here. And then I liked it. I liked going to class. And then I got into it. I said, okay, this is something that I like. I didn't want to jump into it. And then 2 years down the line, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I had to see like if I'm willing to put in the work. I was willing to put in the work. And I'm not saying it's paid off now, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah. Are you looking at how you can bring philanthropy into the business as well? Is there an angle to that in terms of making it part of what you're doing, not a separate thing, but part of the core?
Absolutely. The original plan, I had education, I had wellness, which is like mental health and anything else in wellness, sports, and I have finance in my original concept. I talked to my advisors and everybody, they said it's too much. So I had to just go focus right on sports and then narrow it down to basketball. Well, luckily I had a 501c3 called Excel University, and it's the same 501c3 that we raised the money with. So we scrapped that name and then we named it Gradelo University. So now I can still have philanthropy involved. So it's not directly with Gradelo Inc., but we do have a side 501c3 because philanthropy is very important to me. Inside all my interns, like I give back, I want to see them grow. I even have some interns that come up to me and talk to me about this daily issues. Yeah. Doors wide open. And philanthropy is something that's very important to me. Eventually I do want to tie into education, but right now I can't because I'll be losing focus and we'll be spreading ourselves too thin.
So when you looked at that, making that transition, and obviously you're not done playing basketball.
Right.
Talk a little bit about transitioning into the Big Three. How did you end up doing that?
The Big Three, I was supposed to play last year.
Yeah.
But I was too busy with my tech company. So last year I said, hey, if I stop doing what I'm doing and give my time to the Big Three, then can I get involved on the tech side? I would love to be involved on the tech side, but nobody was really taking me serious. So I didn't play last year. Then this year, Ice Cube called me and and said, hey, we would love to have you. I said, okay, no problem. When Ice Cube calls you, just say yes. So, and I was out of shape. I didn't know I would like it. I got the bug back. It's a very physical game. I was out of shape, and it made me want to get back in shape. So the big three, kind of lit a fire. So I'm kind of balancing my business and then getting in shape. But I'm definitely gonna play in the big three next year.
Your team, so I watched the big three. It's a blast. Your team though, you're on the killer threes, but it was Chauncey, Captain Jack, Steven Jackson. I mean, you had some great dudes on that team.
Yes.
What was it like playing with those guys again?
It was great. First couple possessions, I'm on the floor with Steve Jackson again, my Malice in the Palace buddy. Right. So I'm having fun. I'm like, my mind's not in passionate basketball. I can care less, right? So I'm playing around, laughing, and Steve Jackson comes to me and hits me in the chest because I had a turnover and I was laughing.
Uh-oh.
Steve was serious. What are you doing? We're trying to win the game. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's bringing me back in. I wasn't prepared for it emotionally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my whole career was so unstable, my basketball career. So towards the end of my career, I was able to prepare with therapy. Well, I'm back into this game that I love, and I wasn't able to prepare. So I was going through a lot for 2-3 weeks. I got to get back focused. Steve wants me to focus, and I don't even care about winning, but
those guys are intense.
It's very intense. It's very intense.
It's no joke.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go back next year, and I'm preparing now.
Yeah.
For next year.
Yeah, it's a blast to watch. I mean, this is the old guy in me, seeing all the guys that I watched coming up. But they play hard, man.
They play hard.
And there's no holding back.
It's really not. I don't think there's a few people in the NBA that can deal with it. And there's a few people that probably wouldn't do so well in the big three.
Yeah.
It's very physical.
Yeah. It's definitely it's basketball from the 90s.
It is.
It's not this hand check, call a foul every.
You can hand check. You can push.
Yeah.
You got Reggie Evans. Oh, he's a beast. Reggie Evans, I love him, but I hate playing against him.
He'll give it to you.
He did.
He did. He
did.
Does. Yeah. As you kind of think about the next couple of years for what you're doing, how do you balance? Obviously, you've got the big three becoming a bigger part of your time, and then launching this. Because I think that you talked about this a little bit earlier when you were on the Lakers. You couldn't really pursue all of your entrepreneurial efforts because you had to obviously a lot of demands being a professional athlete. How do you do that now? Because I think a lot of folks are probably in your similar shoes. It may not be athletes, but it might be, I got wife and kids. I got this. I got that. How do you, and finding that balance, I think, is a hard thing for everybody.
It's very cool. It's very cool because it's something that I've been trying to focus on anyway. In terms of how can you give a basketball player, not just a basketball player, whether you work at McDonald's or Staples Center. I know these basketball players still want to play sports. How can you give them that experience again? And how you do that, you take advantage of the time that you have. So on the road in Toronto, I was taking meetings, and there's a great tech scene out there.
Yeah.
In Miami, is up and coming tech scene. So it's how can I take advantage of that time? And that's how I do it. So the big three is great. Also, it's cardio. So I pick and choose when I'm gonna work out. So instead of working out at home all the time, I know I got a game on Friday. So that's going to be my cardio for a day or two. So I schedule it out like that. And for me, it's not a lot of preparation. Like in the NBA, you got to shoot around and you got to pay attention. And the big three is pretty much, You
get a little less intense.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Which American company started with a guy in a garage, was featured on Shark Tank, and now has over 1 million customers? Hint, they're reducing crime in neighborhoods everywhere. Here's Ring Video Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff with his secret to success.
It's true. In just a few years, we've had huge growth. We've hired hundreds of people, expanded our warehouse, and we're shipping millions of units a year, all while making sure our customers are happy. I've had lots of things to worry about, but I never worry about our finance and accounting. Because we use NetSuite from Oracle. From the beginning, NetSuite let me see what's going on with my business in real time. From revenues to expenses, customers and orders, even HR. I run my business from a dashboard right on my phone. NetSuite has been my business management system from 10 to a team of over 1,000. And NetSuite will be my choice as we continue to innovate and grow.
Go to netsuite.com/ring to see how Jamie scaled his business. You'll also get our free guide titled Overcoming Your 5 Obstacles to Growth. That's netsuite.com/ring for your free guide and the story of a great American company. netsuite.com/ring.
What surprised you most on the entrepreneurial side? Like what's been easier for you, and I'd love to hear what's been harder for you.
The easy part is probably picking something you love. You know what? You're doing what you love as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get into, I'm not getting into stem cells. You know? I could if I want to. I want to do stem cells. Like, I'm doing basketball.
Yeah.
Most entrepreneurs are doing something they love. So that's the easy part. The hard part is getting it wrong, thinking you can do it yourself, and then having to have patience, not rushing, bootstrapping, having to learn every part of the business basically, unless you're going to be hiring everyone, and that you can't do that as a up and coming startup and entrepreneur. And then it's also it's frustrating at times, but then when you learn something or you get over a hump, then you get a chance to relax. Like last week I was able to go to the gym finally because I got over the hump on a few things, and I was able to go to the gym and just like chill out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But not many times I have that opportunity because I'm always like trying to figure things out.
Is the when I talk to a lot of founders or folks who are scaling the business, like you talked about hiring a designer and figuring that out. So there's a lot of stuff technically that are challenging, and then sorting out your business model and how you make money, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always hear is that one of the hardest parts is finding that early team and how you sort of build the network of people around you. I'm curious, how's that been for you as a startup in LA, kind of in an intersected business model?
The cool thing is that I have a really good team that's able to pivot, working off equity right now. I got a passionate group, a group that's into sports. A lot of the people I'm working with, they've been to college and stuff like that, so it's a little easier. I open them up to everything. So I don't hide a resource. I don't hide information from anyone. I need everyone to learn everything so we can continue to grow. And maybe one day you might be a potential candidate for a COO position or CEO position or a marketing position. And if you are capable, I want to pick somebody that I've been working with. So I open my team up to everything. I even open them up to the business plan. I keep them involved the whole step of the way.
A lot of transparency.
I want them to know everything because, the more they know everything, they're involved. And then when they get good, I can offer them equity. I tell people, don't quit your job. A couple guys was like, hey, I can't wait to quit. I said, hey, don't you quit your job. Keep your job.
There'll be time enough for quitting, right?
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
I try to be realistic, so it's been great. I got a great group of, interns, and it's been great.
Was there a coach or someone, from a management position growing up in the NBA that sort of gave you this philosophy on transparency and running a business? Because it's not an easy thing to learn, I would imagine.
Well, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but for me, I just I want to see people get better. So when the interns come in, they're helping me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta help them. I always ask my interns, what do you want out of your life? Like, where are you trying to take your career? How can I help you? Because if I can help you, then I'm going to try to put you in a position that's going to help you, not only helping me.
Yeah.
And so some of the interns, they love that. They learn so much. If I'm on the line with one of my advisors, I try to put them on the line. Anytime I have a conference call, open it up for all the interns. Listen, learn. And then when they know something, sometimes I can connect them with the advisor. and they just learn, and they love that. They're learning. They're able to go get a job somewhere. If they say, okay, Metta, it was great being an intern, but it's not paying enough. I'm like, okay, great. Go get a good job. But they learn something, and I want to develop CEOs and founders. That's my whole goal with all my interns. Like I need you to think like a founder.
Yeah.
And because if you have that skill at the age of 21, I'm 38. So if you have that skill at the age of 21, you're going to absorb it more, and you probably can help me.
Were you doing this in some of the final years of playing with the Lakers, mentoring other players like this as well? Is that where this comes from?
I do mentor other players. Yeah, I actually mentor a lot of players. Yeah. And I don't tell who I mentor because, I just don't want to, and they ask questions, and I try to help them. But yeah, I do mentor some players.
Yeah. Are there similarities between the two? Like when you think about you've got obviously a long career on sports. What kind of lessons can you apply then to this? Is it similar to you, or is it because it feels like you're taking a lot of the good stuff from sports and bringing it to your business?
Absolutely. Team. I've been through a rough career, and not being a team player. Specifically in Indiana, I was not social, and I didn't know how to deal with people. And I was still going through my own thing. So, and I wanted to win a title, but you can't win a title if you're not working with your teammates and you're fighting with your teammates. So not winning the title in Indiana had left a bitter taste in my mouth. It was more failure, the failure that got me to the NBA as a child. So I said, okay, I want to win. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I want to become a winner. I want to become a team player.
Yeah.
And then they put me in a position to be with the Lakers. And to be a team player, I was no longer a go-to guy. And I think I learned a lot of lessons there, which I try to apply. I need a team. I'm not like Kobe. Kobe doesn't need a team. I played with Kobe, and literally, I did not need to be on the floor. He was in Game 5, Boston, 25 straight points from the third to the fourth. Not 25 straight points by the Lakers, 25 straight points by Kobe Bryant. Me, I can't do that.
Well,
I need a team.
Although if you remember Game 5 against the Suns,
it
was Kobe's air ball that you caught. That you caught at the buzzer to beat the Suns.
Crazy? If I didn't go for that rebound, that would have been an air ball to the left.
It was way off.
It was way off. Kobe, I love Kobe.
Everybody was wondering how you ended up in that position to get that ball, because that was off.
What's crazy? So when he shot the ball, I'm trying to hit the baseline and box out and push my man back, and then I saw the ball going to the left. And even Richardson, he was surprised. He was going towards the rim, and when I got the rebound, I was just in position.
You broke the Suns' hearts, man. They couldn't recover.
Oh man, that was tough. That would have put them up.
Yeah. That was the big game. That was Game 5, right? It was Game 5. Yeah. And then you guys went and won Game 6.
We won Game 6 in
Phoenix. They were done after Game 5, though.
Yeah, I took a lot out of them.
Yeah.
Took a lot.
Well, and then your big 3 against the Celtics.
Yes.
Right. That was it wasn't all Kobe, man. It wasn't all Kobe.
I helped him out.
You helped him a little bit, right?
I helped. He carried us. Okay, let's put it like this. He carried all the groceries from Whole Foods to the house. He packed up everything in the cabinets in the refrigerator, and I took the milk. I said, Kobe, you forgot the milk. Let me put this in the refrigerator for you. I did one thing. He did the rest. He's amazing.
You might have put the bananas away.
I put the bananas away.
The milk and the bananas, maybe loaf of bread.
Yeah,
you got a little bit
things,
there. You got a little there. That's funny. So I got to ask you, we're going to wrap up here. So as you look at Gradelo, big opportunity that you see. Where are you guys going to be in the next 2-3 years? What's your vision? What does it look like for you?
The next 2-3 years, I want to be. I'm hoping to have at least a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'm hoping to have at least 2 to 3 million users on the platform. And that's kind of, it's not really reaching because those numbers are actually conservative.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to have about that many users on the platform. And lots of coaches, on the platform, and not really focus in 2 to 3 years. We're not really focused on like revenue right now. We just want to grow.
Yep.
And we originally was focused on revenue, but we just want to grow. And then I'm hoping that we are buzzing and people love the platform. They're using the platform, gaining exposure. Maybe a couple players from our platform went to the NCAA, NBA, overseas.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to be a really good solution, for these players.
Yeah. And so they can check it out at Gradelo.com.
So Gradelo.com.
Gradelo.
Gradelo. iOS is available. But you can go if you want to just kind of see the process. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to see like where we at now and where we're going to be in 2 months and where we're going to be in 4 months, follow us. If you're somebody who wants to actually use the platform, probably don't sign up right now. But if you want to grow with us and see what we're doing, and you can message me on the platform actually. So the messaging is working. You can actually post pictures and post videos. That would be really cool if people could just sign up, post pictures, post videos, just keep it engaging until we go to the next phase where there's going to be a lot of activity.
All right. This is awesome, man. Thanks for coming in. We'll have to get you back in a year and we can get a status report on how well you're doing. So thanks so much. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for this opportunity to be in front, of a different audience.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you to Metta World Peace for joining us on this episode of the Grow Wire podcast. We look forward to having him back on in the future. I also want to send a special thank you to all of our awesome sponsors, as well as our editors at Lampstand and our producer, Kendall Fisher. Adios.
You just listened to the Grow Wire podcast with host Jason Maynard. Make sure to tune in every week for another episode full of tips, tools, and strategies to take your personal and professional growth to the next level. Until next time.